Hi guys, welcome to Brass Bootcamp. In today's video, I'm going to be going through the grade 3 to 4 pieces out of Easy Winners by Peter Lawrence. So after you've passed your grade 3, there aren't that many pieces in the Easy Winners book which are going to stretch you musically and technically. So there's a couple of pieces which I'm going to go through today. We sort of bridge that gap after you've passed grade 3 and basically complete the book so you've played most of the pieces. So the first one is Consider Yourself. So a nice lively tune from Oliver. I'm sure you'll recognise the tune. A couple of things in this piece. First of all, we've got our 6/8 time signature. So you all should know by now that's a nice skippy 1 under, 2 under, 1 under, 2 under. 2 beats in the bar, split up into 3 quavers per beat. That gives you your 6 quavers, but we always count 6/8 in 2 beats in the bar. 1 under, 2 under. You'll also notice looking through this piece, check your musical geography. There's a nice repeated strain at the beginning, first and second time bars. Make sure you play the first time bar the first time and the second time bar the second time. The next thing you'll notice, there's quite a few sharps. So before you even start practicing the piece, just go through and make sure you know the fingering for all those notes. So C sharp in the first bar, all 3 vowels for a trumpet. Make sure you've got F sharp in your key signature, watch out for that one. Moving on to the third line, you've got D sharp, 2 and 3, G sharp on the 5th line, 2 and 3 for G sharp, then more C sharps and D sharps. And then if you have a look on the last line, there's a lot of A sharps. So as you all know, A sharp is exactly the same as B flat, it's just called a different name. So make sure your A sharp is first valve. So we've got the marking vivace at the beginning, which means lively. So again, our tonguing, really important that it's light and bouncy. We don't want any do, do, do. It all needs to be nice and light and bouncy. So here's the beginning of the piece. I'm concentrating on really good rhythm, really good counting, light and bouncy tonguing. So nice and light and bouncy. Difficult things in that, just getting your tonguing and your fingers nicely coordinated. So always make sure your fingers follow your tonguing. So if your tonguing is going, your fingers go and follow your tonguing. If you wait for your fingers to move and then say the t for your tonguing, it'll all be disjointed. So if I wait for my fingers, it'll sound like this. And you can see there's a little gap between each of the notes and the rhythm isn't exactly flowing and in time. So I'm going to carry on from halfway through the 4th line. Again, nice rhythm, nice tonguing. Nice little crescendo. At that point, the tune goes back to the beginning, same as before. And then I'm just going to play you the last line quickly, nice and lively. That rhythm that is a crotchet followed by quaver, that's always counted 1, 2, 1, 2, nice and skippy. So this is the last note of bar 41, the A sharp, first valve. So nice lively tonguing, nice coordinated tonguing and fingers, and that perfect 6/8 counting. So the next piece on this grade 3 to 4 section of the book is the one below it, so it's the A team. You'll all know this tune, I'm sure, from the 118 adverts. Here we go. So nice and lively, no sharps or flats in the key signature to watch out for. Here we go. So you can hear in this piece really powerful sounds because it's marked forte at the beginning, and also the tonguing is quite hard, isn't it? It's accented. So instead of ta ta ta, we're going t t t. So we're really pressing our tongue really hard against our teeth and then releasing it nice and quick to get that nice sort of powerful accented sound. Watch out for some of the semiquavers. So at the end of bar 2, you got ta 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 or ta ta ti. So again, getting your syllable in the right place, getting your fingers really nicely coordinated, really important. So if you're struggling getting that together, what do? Start it slowly and then speed it up. So I'll just play the last 2 bars of bar 2 and the first note of bar 3 should sound like this. So I was thinking to, ta, ti. So gradually speed it up. A couple of things that might happen. The second note, which is the G, might be a a little bit quieter than the rest. So if you focus a lot of your attention on the G, then it might help you get that a little bit cleaner and crisper. So the rhythm in bar 4 is another one which is slightly uncommon. We've got our dotted quaver and our semiquaver, which is our 1, A2, A1, A2, A. And then we've got, on the second beat, we've got 2E under, 2E under, 2E under, 2E under, ta, 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 1, A2E, 3, 4. Because remember, our semiquavers are 1, E and A. So that first beat, we play on the 1, and then we play on the 4th semiquaver. So 1, E and A. And then on the second beat, we play on the 1 and on the E. So 1 E. So it's the opposite way round. So ta 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 ta, 1 A2 E 3 4. So this is that rhythm in the 4th bar. So nice and crisp. Moving on to bar 7, we've got some flats arriving. So A flat and E flat are both on 2 and 3. Watch out for the B flats as well, first valve. And it's more of the same. Make sure you're counting your ties nice and clearly and holding the long notes on for the right amount of time. So this next section is quite repetitive, but it does use a rhythm which a lot of people do sort of tend to play wrong a lot of the time. So if you have a look at the 2 quavers tied together, followed by a crotchet, they're both exactly the same length. What people tend to do is, when they see 2 quavers tied together, they tend to hold that on, because they see that tie, they hold it on for too long. Whatever length and whatever speed the crotchets are, ta, 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 those 2 quavers tied together are exactly the same. So this is what it should sound like, which is bar 13. So notice the 2 quavers and the crotchet are exactly the same length. This is what people tend to do when they're playing those quavers on for a little bit long. And you can see the rhythm doesn't quite flow, and it's really tricky to get it in time if you're playing with other people as part of a band or with a pianist or an accompanist. So once we get to the end of the 4th line, we go back to the beginning and take the coda. So I'm going to play from bar 5 and take the coda. So a nice powerful piece, nice loud volume, so blowing nice and loud, really crisp, hard tonguing to get that nice heroic feel. Watch out for the codas and watch out for those flats and watch out for those different rhythms that happen in this piece as well. We Are the Champions is the next piece. Another piece in 6/8, a lot slower this time and in a more flowing style. I'm sure you all know the tune. This one, 2 options to count it. If you count it in 2 beats in the bar like you would every other 6/8 piece, that's really useful. So we're going to go 1, 2 and a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, 1, 2. Or you could count this piece in 6 beats in the bar. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. That way will probably be really more rhythmically accurate, but you do need to practice counting and subdividing into those quavers in 6 beats in the bar, because crotchets last for 2 beats, quavers last for 1 beat, dotted crotchets last for 3 beats. And when you've got all those ties in there, it's quite tricky. So counting it both ways is really useful, but I would advise counting this one in 6 beats in the bar rather than the 1 under, 2 under. But at the end of the day, it's whichever one you've practiced the most and you feel most comfortable with, and also gets you the most accurate results. So here's a bit of We Are the Champions. So you might have noticed that in that piece, it's not marked slurred, but because it's a song, and generally when people sing songs, they sing it relatively smoothly, I think in that piece, it's one of those times where instead of tonguing everything really softly, you can just slur everything, and it makes it easier technically, and it actually gives better results in my opinion. So another little exercise in this piece you can practice is subdividing everything into quavers. So what do I mean by that? If you set your tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you set your tonguing off at that speed, and you play the piece all the way through, and you play everything for however many quavers it's worth. For example, the very first note, we've got a dotted crotchet, which is worth 3 quavers, tied to another one. So we need to actually play 4 quavers for that first note, and then the next 2 notes are worth 1 quaver each, so we just play 1 of each of those. The next crotchet, the F sharp in bar 2, we play 2 quavers for that one, and then the next note, the D tied over, we play 3 quavers. So this is what it sounds like if I subdivide it into quavers. And for this exercise, I'm not going to play smoothly, I'm going to play just with a nice sort of normal note length, so a medium note length, and I'm going to do it with nice crisp tonguing as well. So you can hear that way. It's perfectly in time. Your counting is going to be really prominent in your head because that's what's going to link in with your tonguing. And then when you go back to playing it smoothly, if you think about subdividing it in your head silently, then it means when you're playing smoothly, your rhythm is going to be 100% accurate. So the last piece in this section of the book is Jupiter from The Planets, really famous piece. And actually this is used as a hymn tune if you go to church as well, so it's a nice hymn tune. The World in Union is one set of the words for this tune. I'm sure it's got another set of words to it as well, but the melody is exactly the same. So, 3/4 time signature, nice and easy, nice and slow and steady. Again, because this is used as a hymn, we're going to slur everything and make it as smooth and nice as we can. A couple of rhythms to talk about. We've got dotted crotchets, so make sure you count 2 beats and move on and then we've got dotted quavers and semiquavers, so that's 1, A2, A3. So it's a nice snappy rhythm. No sharps or flats in this piece. It doesn't go that high either, so again, we're after even tone between the low, middle and high notes. Really nice, smooth sound, really big sound, and as smooth as possible. So the next section goes down quite low. So again, make sure your low notes are still nice and compact, and they're not sort of like a horrible sound. Nice and rounded, but not too big and sort of fluffy around the edges. So going down to the bottom G in the next phrase, just make sure it sounds nice. So a nice big sound on that low G. And then at this point it goes back and is the same tune as the beginning with a slight variation at the end. So I'll play you from the upbeat to bar 21 just to finish the piece off. So that's all the pieces between grade 3 and 4 in Easy Winners. And at this stage, you'll have pretty much covered the whole book. I've got video tutorials on all of the pieces that I always use when I'm teaching that takes people right the way through from before grade 1, that initial stage, all the way through until they pass grade 3, and then just finishing off some of the pieces in the book on that grade 3 to 4 sort of bridging section at the end. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.